The legendary dungeon is starting again, and if you didn't play it very often and you're not sure about the Gem of Fate, so which one should you choose, which one you may not choose, or which one you could choose in specific conditions, I will tell you this in the current video. But first of all, Shakes and Fidget becomes 14 years old. Happy birthday, Shakes and Fidget. It's a very pleasure to be part of the game for so long, and I mean, we have very good events, as you can see in the post, or you already saw it in game. And there is a specific crazy mushroom harvest event. Although it's not end of the month, so feel free to buy any mushroom packages you can find in a web shop, and feel free to use a creator code to support the creator besides paying less prices. Thanks for using creator code Hunrizzle. Besides your mushrooms, you will get 10% extra dungeon luck in the legendary dungeon. That's a joke, of course. I cannot provide you that, unfortunately. But let's go back to the legendary Gem of Fates. As you can see, there are about 20 Gem of Fates. So it's not easy to choose one. After after 50 and 75 floors, you will be able to choose 1 out of 3. Those are coming randomly. And so sometimes it's really not easy to pick the right one. And I want to go through a Gem of Fate tier list. I want to work through it, and I will tell you which gem of this tier I would recommend to choose, or which I would maybe even list worse, and I will tell you why. And before we will start, basically this will help you if you know how you wanna, or what do you want to reach with the legendary dungeon besides getting legendary items, because it's sometimes your decision is based on what do you want to get. Do you want to get epics, for example, or more materials or more gold? Then sometimes you may pick a different choice. But the main reason actually for most of the players, or the main goal for most of the players for legendary dungeon run, is to try to die as least as possible. Specifically, make perfect run without dying. I never reached it, but I know other creators who could reach it yet, and I hope maybe I will reach it this time. But if you think about trying not to die, then this is specifically a good goal for everybody, pay-to-win players and free-to-play players. Basically, pay-to-win players can use the Keymaster better for this goal, because they can use a lot of mushrooms to go through the Keymaster shop within their legendary ones. But even as free-to-play player, this goal is recommended. And basically, if you want to judge which Gem of Fate you want to choose, so you first should actually just pick the advantages and see which advantage fits you best to your goal or for this run. So sometimes the advantage basically is not the best, but in combination with another Gem of Fate you already have, it's better. And if you check this, then you should also check the disadvantages. So which is best and which is the worst, for example. And then you gotta decide. And yeah, I mean, I think maybe even 50% out of the times you pick the best advantage, and the other 50% it's more about the best balance, because sometimes the advantage is not that great, but the disadvantage sucks. So you take another Gem of Fate with a worse advantage even, but where the disadvantage is much better for your play style. So always read all the descriptions and make your decisions true, and I will help you with that. And yeah, due to the Shakes and Fidget Discord, you will find, okay, the rain is starting to be, not sure if you can hear it, but in the Shakes and Fidget Discord, you will find a lot of information which I talk about for the legendary dungeon, and so feel free to read it through, and you will find a tier list. And this tier list, yeah, you will have like F tier until S. F is the worst in this list, and S is the best. And let's go and work through this. And well, with the F tier list, actually all Gem of Fates are really, really rubbish. I mean, double locked doors or having less chance to fly are disadvantages you never should pick. I mean, I really hope you never get a choice between those three. Yeah. And you actually could kill yourself. But no, I'm just kidding. But it's really, really, really worse. I mean, the third one is a really weird combination. Erratic builder of a hick. Erratic builder of a hick. There are fewer sacrificial doors, and behind them almost a bronze, silver, or epic chest. Increase the damage of the escape attempt fails by 30%. So this is maybe the least worst, but the combination is really weird because you basically don't go for sacrificial doors anyways, and if you cannot fly, if you cannot escape, the damage shouldn't be that much increased. So as I said, all of them are rubbish, but maybe you do best with erratic boulder, simply if you really got to choose all those three. Within the A tier list, it's a little bit different. The first one, Sephir of Misadvantage, could be kind of okay, because fewer curse doors appear. Disadvantage is not bad. Yeah, I'm a person, I don't like curses in general. Yeah, and most of the curses are really, really bad for your progress. There's just actually one curse which is okay. It's the last gold, as long as you want to try to make a perfect run. Less gold sucks, of course, but if you want to make a perfect run, then this is a course which is affordable. But most of the other curses are bullshit, and especially within the last 25 floors, this could help you, because the disadvantage, increase the chance of receiving curses from battles by 10%, is okay. Within the last 25 floors, you don't go for fights anymore, basically. And I mean, this Gem of Fate does not conclude boss fights, and so basically for me it's okay, but yeah, after 25 floors it's bullshit, and with 50 or 75 50 floors it's high of a risk, because sometimes you go for keys. Yeah, but I could even list it as a D tier in my list, especially within the last 25 floors. The second, Diamond of Time Traveler. That one. Diamond of Time Traveler extends the duration by blessings by 1. Okay. Increases the chance of suffering a curse from a bell by 50%. So this is like, it's okay, because you don't have a direct damage with this disadvantage. So if you go through a locked door or through a mysterious door and you have a barrel and you took this Gem of Fate, of course you never should click on the barrel, but the room itself is safe. So especially this gem would make it higher in my tier list as well, because the disadvantage is really okay, as long as you don't click on the barrel. Then we got the Pebble of Deceit. This one. A Pebble of Deceit is yeah, it's just to choose. It's really a tier list, because I say I, no E, no E is okay. You just choose it if the other ones are really worse. Yeah. Monsters behind doors can really suck. I mean, you try to fight for keys, then you have a good door and you want maybe to get a barrel or a chest to get above, and then you have a monster. It's really, really bullshit. And you have to consider it counts for unlocked doors as well. So this is really a very bad one. I could even list it as F tier, as really worst tier list. Yeah, but maybe the other two ones, specifically those two, are even worse. So if you got these three, then you may choose this one, but I hope you're never gonna have to choose between those. And the last one is Crown Jewel of Devil. It's basically okay if you go for epics, but for me it's bullshit. I mean, the damage boost means final bosses are even stronger as well. and you need more than 60% of your life for the final boss. So sometimes if you die in the last floor in the final boss fight, you can save mushrooms by picking part HP. And if you have a disadvantage like this in the Gem of Fate, you have to go for 100% at least. So you pay more mushrooms as well. And yeah, I mean, it's not F tier because you can go for it, but it doesn't make your run better though, especially if you don't want to go for epics. I mean, there are enough epics within the legendary dungeon run in my mind. So yeah, let's go for the D list. D has some interesting Gem of Fates too. The Curse Pearl for me, well, I would list it as E. I don't like it. It's really a hard one. I mean, it reducts damage, yeah, but 20% the disadvantage really would make my life worse than the reduced damage, yeah, because yeah, as I said, I don't like curses, yeah. And the Emerald of the Explorer is actually bad with its advantage, but the disadvantage doesn't really matter. Mysterious rooms are basically okay, especially for gaining more buffs within barrels, corpses. Yeah, so you can combine it with others. So for me, that gem is quite okay, and it's maybe even a bit better after 75 floors as well, because the disadvantage is really not bad in that yeah, in the last runs. So yeah, this is more the gem you can choose if the other ones are worse. And basically the same goes for the Blood Drop of Sacrifice. This is an interesting one. I would list it even higher in the list as a C tier at least, especially after 75 floors as well, because well, sacrificial doors in general give less damage than fights or failed escape attempts. So the reduced damage by 30% even gives you even much less. You don't feel the damage really, yeah. And the room itself is safe, so you sacrifice some HP for getting into the room, but then you have a free run through the room as long as you don't click on the sacrificial chest, whatever, and you don't get curses as well. So it's of course the advantage is not is not giving wonders to your progress, but it's really something you should consider. Especially if you have other Gem of Fate on the lower list to pick, because until this moment, this is actually the best one to pick, especially after 75 floors. And then the last one, we have this orange gem. It's called a Rusty Healing Stone. Healings give 30% more life. You're saying, oh, that's great, but sometimes you don't need those 40%, first of all, and secondly, revive suffer the curse 5% damage from poison for 5 rooms after being revived. I mean, this disadvantage says you don't have a perfect one, first of all, but poison curse is one of the worst curse you can have. And so for me, I would actually go for E tier for this. I never think I would need healings with 50% more, because I mostly, I mean, for free-to-play players maybe it's kind of okay, but for pay-to-win players you go for the best buff anyway with the Keymaster, so I think 40% is not needed. And then let's go ahead to C. C just has 2 things, and the Boulder of Gambler. I don't like curses by traps, to be honest, because there are so many traps and which can lead to so many bad curses. But the barrel reward can be very good, especially in combinations with a lot of keys, so you can go through a lot of cores and then you are lucky to find a barrel. So the advantage can be really good, but the disadvantage can be really sad. So for me, it's one of the most risky stones for so C tier is kind of okay, it's kind of average, but it can really lead to very, very good results, and it can lead to very, very bad results. You never know. The Boulder of Greed is actually nicer in general, yeah. Mysterious Rooms can give you buffs too, so it's never really a bad choice. Yeah. So, yeah. So out of those two C tier lists, this one is the safe one and this one is the risky one. And let's go to B, of course. Higher tier generally should mean the Gem of Faith are better. First one is the Crazy Healing Stone. The Crazy Healing Stone, yeah. I mean, I could actually take it as C as well. So having 10% for 3 rooms is okay. It doesn't make a big impact, especially after 75 rooms. Epic chests do not appear as long as you don't want to find epic chests. It's okay. So B tier is fine. The disadvantage doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's something between B, C. It's a very safe one though. So yeah, it's always something you can pick if you have worse stones. The second one, Treasure of Hero. Let's see. It's looking like this. Treasure of Hero. It gives reducted damage caused by monsters. That's nice. And it reduces the chance of finding items by 25%. So basically this is better than the other Gem of Fate with damage reduction, because it doesn't affect your escape attempt chance. And finding items less can suck if you want to find items, but for me it's okay. So Treasure of a Hero is nothing I say, oh, very nice, I have Treasure of the Hero, but it's okay. So I could list it as C as well. And Hope of the Thirsty One. Hope of the Thirsty One is one of the rare blue stones we have here. It increases the chance to get better blessings from barrel by 40%. There are more cursed doors and there's always a cursed box behind them. So actually it's kind of the same like Boulder of Gambler, because it's a high risk. Yeah. The barrel is the same advantage. So yeah, if you have those two combined, it's actually, you never should combine those two. That's then the disadvantages are way worse than the advantages. But you can pick one of them. So actually the B tier list here doesn't contain really great Gem of Fates. That's interesting. But now the top comes. I mean, there's not much to say about, but the Cursed Moonstone, it's nice. It increases the chance of successfully escaping from battles. Increases the duration of courses by 1. Okay, yeah. But I mean, to get the curse, it's worse than to have it a little bit longer. Yeah, so basically you should try to avoid getting curses, and then you're way fine. Spying Gem is really nice in my mind. Chance of unlocked doors, it's really great. I mean, reduces the chance of receiving keys by 15%, which would mean like Spying Gem after 25 floors is a bit worse than after 75 floors. But I mean, it doesn't matter, you find, it doesn't mean automatically you find a lot of unlocked doors. But I had, for example, one where I find like 6-7 unlocked doors, which is really helpful, because unlocked doors can give you barrels after it or chests to gain buffs. And as long as you don't have monsters behind doors, there's no way there's actually no situation somebody wouldn't recommend you to pick Spying Gem. Yeah. But if you had to choose monsters behind doors before whatever, because the other two were worse in your mind, then Spying Gem is not A tier anymore. This is rare. And then we have the Pendant of the Keymaster. The Pendant of the Keymaster is actually not a tier A for me, more like maybe C. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can combine it very great with the Moonstone or Soul of Rabbit or some buffs, and with Locked Doors, which gives you buffs. But basically, I never would choose it on after floor 25 or floor 50, because you have to imagine one door is always locked, leads you to use a lot of keys, and there's no worse situation than having 0 keys within the legendary dungeon. So yeah, after floor 75 it can even be hard, but okay, sometimes you don't have to pick the locked door though. But yeah, for me it's maybe not C but B list maybe, but it's not A tier for me, to be honest. And yeah, last but not least, we have Soul of the Rabbit. It increases the chance of flight escape by 30%. Of course, increases the damage dealt by monsters. Soul of the Rabbit is always something you can pick, but you have to consider as well that you need more than 60% HP in the final boss if you pick Soul of the Rabbit. Yeah, this is of course not a good disadvantage, but in that term the advantage is so much better. It doesn't matter, yeah, and you can combine it with other buffs, for example, or Gem of Fates that makes it even a bit tastier. But overall, yeah, we are through the tier list, and I hope I could give you good informations. I hope you can enjoy the legendary dungeon and you're very successful by grinding items. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to write them down in comments below. See you next time. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Ciao.